a three-man party. First, the heavy hitter holding the powerful self-buff Dragon Change, Kamiyu the Dragonkin. Next, the tank who changed to a large shield to increase the sense of stability, Garm the Mad Dog. And finally, the white mage who brought this team together and can both heal and buff his allies from a distance, Tsutomu. Together they have come to face the boss of the 50th floor of God's dungeon, the Fire Dragon. As they warm up before facing the boss, Garm and Kamiyu begin to feel anxious. The Fire Dragon is a mighty foe that up until now has only been faced by 5-man parties. Kamiyu in particular had been a retired adventurer for a few years now, working as leader of the Adventurers Guild. This will be her first time returning to battle. A rush of excitement and nervousness rushes through her body. Tsutomu, the team leader, begins his debrief, going over their plan of overcoming the dragon's initial breath attack and bringing it down to the ground so they can initiate the battle. He goes on to relay important pieces of information, telling Garm to not die as it may leave him, the supporter, vulnerable, and Kamiyu to stop attacking if he casts Medic on her. As everyone prepares themselves, we see what motivates Tsutomu. In order to silence the publishing company called Solid that has been spreading defamatory rumours about him, break the deadlock of the current worst situation, save his friend Amy, and, above all, find a way to return to Japan, he must push forward. The boss arrives. Garm and Kamiyu are frozen still as the beast's roar courses through their bodies. Kamiyu even loses hope. Tsutomu tries to snap her out of it. As the dragon prepares its breath attack, Tsutomu initiates the plan nonetheless. Garm uses Warrior Howl, a skill that draws the enemy's aggression, or aggro, to him. While he has the dragon's attention, Tsutomu rushes to Kamiyu, who is still paralyzed with fear. He uses his support skills to calm her mind and tells her only observe while making a light-hearted quip. Her own powerlessness begins to weigh on her. Kamiyu watches everything unfold, shocked by the display of tenacity and skill those the other two put on. Tsutomu becomes confident that as long as they don't make a mistake, they shouldn't lose. But they won't be able to win either, not without the proper firepower. That's when Kamiyu rushes into battle, apologizing to the others for her late arrival. The real fight starts now. We briefly cut back to outside the dungeon where we see Amy, who is disguising herself to hide from reporters. She enters the guild hall to see everyone watching and cheering on the battle against the dragon. To further explain, there exist cameras called God monitors that live stream the battles that take place inside God's dungeon for those on the surface to see. The crowd is ecstatic at what they are witnessing. The skills, tactics and proficiency shown are unlike anything they've seen. Amy watches on, secretly wishing it were her there instead of the guild master, as she was the former member of the three-man party. We jump to see the excitement from other places outside the guild. The chaos is so great that the security force was dispatched to keep the peace. The mage from the Black Mage clan, an independent organisation of adventurers who had already cleared that floor, was in disbelief that someone like the Lucky Boy could come this far. Lucky Boy is a name given to Tsutomu after he first arrived to this world. He decided to sell his high-level equipment he already had and start from scratch. The Black Mage clan were the ones who bought it. He was labelled Luck Boy for being lucky enough to stumble across such power equipment. The Solid Company used the moment to jokingly spread this name across the city. Once it was discovered how weak Tsutomu was at the time, the name became an insult. Soon, allegations of fraud and mistreatment began to spread thanks to that same company, leading to Tsutomu having his reputation ruined. We come back to the fight. Kamiyu apologizes for her inability to use Dragon Change, but Tsutomu reassures her that things are still proceeding as planned. Nevertheless, she reprimands herself for giving up so quickly, even though her allies were still fighting profusely. Even now, Garm continues to take on all of the dragon's attacks as he keeps its attention, while Tsutomu, a supporter, is taking on multiple roles and thriving. She had never had any comrades to rely on before, only those that chased after her from behind. Now she is the one dragging them down. Kamiyu uses Dragon Change. She rushes in and with a single swing severs the dragon's tail. Tsutomu worries that she may have lost all reason, just like she usually does when she transforms. But now it's different. She is in complete control. Tsutomu attributes her change to her evolving mid-fight. Kamiyu is eager to test out her new power. Unfortunately, her transformation times out, something Tsutomu suspected would happen. He even said she might have wet herself, jokingly. Of course. He gives her 3 minutes to cool down before she can continue. The crowd outside continues to be thrilled at the battle unfolding, bringing in new eyes from all over. Several notice the flying heels, a creative technique created by Tsutomu, and adores its beauty. Amy watches the fight, initially thinking they may not need her. Kamiyu takes a punishing blow by the dragon. Tsutomu rushes to her aid. He heals her completely using a blue potion. He notices that it's taking longer than expected to defeat the dragon, which is putting more strain on their resources, as well as Garm, their sole tank. If they keep going, they'll collapse. The dragon, despite taking so much damage and getting weaker, is still moving. Something is off. The detractors of Tsutomu, including some thuggish adventurers and malicious reporters, are eager to see the team's downfall. The pressure is on. Garm stumbles and is crushed beneath the foot of the fire dragon. Tsutomu uses repeated heals to counteract the damage. Kamiyu tries to attack the leg. The dragon relentlessly hammers its foot on top of Garm. Kamiyu manages to cut its foot. The crowd outside is in shock. The detractors are roaring in applause. Tsutomu rushes over to Garm's flattened body. Miraculously, Garm survives. Tsutomu gives him a potion and weighs their options. An all-out attack seems to be their only choice, so he tells Garm he doesn't have to tank anymore. Garm disagrees and insists on tanking until the very end. He uses Combat Cry to grab the dragon's attention once more. Then, with every ounce of his energy, he screams. Your opponent is me! The crowd erupts at the return of the Mad Dog. Tsutomu is amazed at what he is seeing, but Kamiyu states that Garm was more amazing in his past. After casting buffs on her one more time, the two continue with their strategy. She uses Dragon Change once more and flies off. It was a sight to behold. And finally, with one mighty swing, Kamiyu slices through the fire dragon's head. Victory is theirs. As the crowd explodes. Well, not everyone. But not everyone was happy with their negative comments, calling this goop of adventurers parasitic, only managing to get up to the 20th floor, yet dares to trash talk others. Before the group could lash out, the security force arrives. Soon, people began praising the lucky boy. Even the rumors about him were starting to seem unbelievable. This was only the beginning of Tsutomu's accomplishments. If you want to see what happens next, then on to the next chapter.